Hi Michael, a quick video to get you some workflows within Enforce. Hopefully this gives you enough confidence to start getting data ready for yourself. I'm going to try and keep this within the 15-minute video window Stream allows me to record. So I won't venture into too much detail about the tools within Enforce, but hopefully you've got a good enough understanding of the software, and it's something we can always cover another time. So I know you're interested in this pitch area of the data, so I will show you sort of some different ways to go about it. It's good you've got text here, that can come in handy. And also this bit here, we'll look at ways we can actually extract it or erase it from the data. If we take this into Enforce and just model the whole thing, it's going to be trying to model. It's going to model the perimeter. It's going to model this pond area as well. So there is going to be a bit of cleaning up work required. So obviously I don't have my Enforce open. A second, I'll load this up. So as always, when I get data, I always put it into Enforce. It's such a good tool to look at it and clean it up, do whatever we need to do to it. So get this in here. So I'm interested in the 3D elements here. So I'm going to select all, make everything inactive, and then just select 3D and activate my 3D ones. You could, if you wanted, you could select empty and just get rid of them. It's not going to be any hassle for what we're trying to achieve here. Right click, backcloth create. So let's call this So you'll see when we create a backcloth, it automatically makes a model file in here. That doesn't mean we have the model yet, it's just giving us a workspace to create a DTM. So when it's modeling, it needs points to generate the triangles from, and we don't have points. We've got linework, we've got text. So straight into points, generate points, and we're going to generate points from lines. So the height calculation, just use the heights that are assigned to the 3D lines. Point code, the points are effectively just, we'll call them spot levels, and we'll put them on a layer, spot level layer. So highlight the file, and you'll see Enforce generates points along all the different lines in here. Okay, once it's done that, we can just simply go DTM, create normal. And that's us effectively got a surface that we could then put into the machine. If we put the surface into the machine, there's lots of data that we don't need, i.e. when the driver goes beyond the line of the pitch, he's going to have levels going right out here. Some of the levels of the perimeter are being triangulated within the pitch here, so these levels won't be what we're looking for. And that can all be visualized by going straight into view and then 3D. It will actually give us a 3D representation of that model that we just created. So this is obviously the edge of your pitch here. Looks not too bad, edge of the pitch, but then along the back here, it's not working out too good. If we put a height shade on it, and the vertical scale will just over-exaggerate stuff for us. Let's put this back to normal. Yeah, so you can see you're missing the edge of the pitch here because it's triangulated with the edge here. This batter looks all right, but it's not the nicest surface. You would certainly get most of it done without any issues, but when you get to this edge and this edge, it's not going to be very good data for the dozer. So good thing is, as I said, your data is pretty good, so there's lots of stuff that we can do. If I just go to DTM delete all, okay, I'm going to delete all these points as well. So I'll go points delete purely just to speed things up. So I mentioned you've got text here. I'll just show you this quickly. I know Andy had another file where he did need to use the text. So to generate points, these have levels on them. So if you were given data, and the first thing you noticed in Enforce was that there's no 3D data, no 3D line work, basically, just drawn in 2D, but someone had either surveyed it or they'd given you levels, or like we spoke about last time, you had a survey that you could lay on top of it. You can go to points generate from text. Height calculation, well this time we want it to go and find any text values that are on the job. Just press OK to that. So say move, just highlight the working space, and you'll see now everywhere there's text, we now have a point next to it. See the crosshairs? Same thing again, DTM create normal. So we've created a surface there purely just from some level text, which will be quite good. There'll be a moment in time that will come in handy. The athletics pitch in Edinburgh was designed purely by generating triangles between text like that. I'm going to delete all again, go into my points and delete all just to show you another way. So the fact that we are only interested in the pitch, I would be inclined to start erasing data from it. You can do that in Enforce through CAD. You can go into here, delete, start editing, etc. I did one earlier in AutoCAD that might be more familiar to yourself. So you'll see what I've done here. I've just kept on the layers that I thought were going to be useful. At first I wasn't entirely sure what was going on with this area here. Obviously I can see that this edge of the pitch, there's a batter or something there along here and along this side. But you'll see it's a much simpler file. So if I take that into Enforce, I'll just create a new file here. So you'll see that quite a lot is 0. So I'm just going to select all empty and delete. Cool. So here's my drawing here. So now what we can do, create a backcloth of this. Points, generate, we'll go lines. Okay, so this is still going to cause an issue because it's going to triangulate from here and this outside boundary. So if I just delete all the points, and we'll just give it an edit basically. So let's go back into my drawing, into my CAD view. Go to delete elements, and I'm basically just going to start clicking. Ignore that. Go into properties, pick mode, rather than using my rectangle. Let's go for actually element. So now we can delete and start clicking on the elements. So that worked out quite nicely, took the perimeter away. This line here. Don't really know what's going on here again with your drawing. The pond area, let's just get rid of it. Okay. So you'll see what I've done. I've now just got the pitch and this back area. Again, I'm not 100% sure what's going on site, but if you wanted to delete that, it would be quite easy for you to do. Just do it the same way I've done it. So now let's come out. Surface 2. So same thing again, points generate from lines. The reason it's doing that, I've still got it on select from elements. I need to go in here, pick, and I want to do it with rectangle. Much easier in this situation. So it's only generating points at these lines that, where they've been created. So if I was to DTM that, it's still not a very nice surface. So let me just delete everything again. So we could go points, generate along lines, and it's going to ask chainage interval. So how often along the line do you want? Let's go a meter. Probably a bit extreme, but it should hopefully be a really nice visual. Or it might just be perfect. It might be exactly what the dozer needs. So from this view, you can tell straight away when I hit DTM, it's going to be much more uniformed. Everything's going to be even because of the volume of points that we now have. So DTM create normal. As you can see, it's a much nicer data set. There's a lot of angulation, which isn't really an issue because we can turn it off in the dozer, but you can change that interval to suit. However, when we go to view in 3D, it's going to look like our pitch, hopefully. So you'll see our edges are pretty straight. It's good straight off. We can turn on the wire overlay. You can see what's going on with the levels. Again, this bit may or may not be needed. And if we put on some height shading, there's still this. I haven't looked at the data. I suppose we could go back and find out what's going on in this corner. I'm assuming it's something to do with the actual design of the site. But that's good. I'm sure you'll agree it's looking much better. One of the main things when you go into the 3D view, what first thing to do is just to orbit, hold the mouse down and actually look under it. If there was a serious issue with the model and you'd maybe see big spikes coming down here, which would then force you to go back to here and figure out what's went wrong with it. But basically, let's just save this. So we'll export it. Standard. Just change the name of this. 3DMC model. The version here is quite important. So 3D Office that you're using, if we were to choose something later, it wouldn't read the file. So just always make sure your version's a low one, like 2000, 2002. And again, if you hadn't cleaned up the data as much as I did there, you could hit purge unused and it will do a bit of cleaning up for you. So straight into 3D Office. I think I showed you this before, project options, and just make sure you're on meters, make sure your east and northern elevations are the right way around because it will default to northeast elevation. Go to tin being the model, import tin from AutoCAD file. It was this guy.